There you go. Spring games in the books. I thought got a lot of plays in. It was about minus 20. It was 21 degrees, I think, wind chill out there, so it was cold. So it's still warming up, obviously. But anyway, I thought Lewerke played very well at the beginning of the game. We sort of pulled him out after a quarter and a half or so, but he was crisp. He was on target. Played very effectively. Defensively, I thought we played pretty well as well. It's tough to figure it out as you're just watching the game. That's a first. Hold on. Be right back. Anyway, missed something there. But got to watch the film, see how we played. But I thought everybody had an opportunity to play in the football game, and that's important all the time, that everybody gets an opportunity to show something. Fan support was great. I appreciate the fans coming out. It was a good crowd. They got into it a little bit. Offense came back at the end. But I'm always going to make that game tight, try and put pressure on people to make a play at the end of a football game. So that's what we try and do. So I'll just take some questions. That's probably the best way to do it.
Mark, over here on the to your left.
Yeah.
What you got from Connor Hayward and sort of your backfield next year, he looks like a guy, even though he wasn't naturally a running back, who has a knack for the position.
Yeah, he really can play a lot of positions for us. He can play on the defensive side of the ball, outside back, and probably he's about 225 pounds. He catches the ball very effectively. Be a return guy. So he does a lot of different things at the backfield for us. He played quarterback in high school. Does a lot of things. He's a very good football player, and he's only a freshman. So, you know, we've got some help coming at that position. Held LJ out early, you know, after a couple, you know, probably about the same quarter and a half or so. So feel good about that position, and with a couple younger guys coming. Alontae Thomas had a big run in the game, had a run in football, but yeah, we'll be okay.
Mark, each spring something new emerges. What are you most pleasantly surprised by now that the spring game's in the books?
Well, we held about 13 players out of the game that did not play. Some could have played, some could not have. That's usually the norm coming out of spring, but I think that we have a good foundation where we're at. We've got experience coming back. I think that we've got guys that played in football games and played at a high level and played in pressure games with big crowds around them and TV and etc. So from that standpoint, I feel very positive. We just got to keep getting better. The ball's on the ground too much sometimes, or too many unforced errors, whether it's a practice or whether it's a great game. I don't think there were that many penalties out there, but just some missed opportunities and things like that. But I like our chemistry again, and that's always good to feel.
Coach Rick Mill here. To this point in the spring, one more practice, what's the biggest question you feel that you've answered, and what's the biggest question left to be answered when you reconvene for the summer?
Those are good questions. Biggest question I think that we still got to answer right now is who's going to kick off for us. You know, because that's got to be something that we lose our kicker, and that's something that you know, it's windy out there and situations weren't real good, but that's the way it is sometimes in November. So you got to kick the ball a little bit more effectively in that situation. Things that I think that we found. You know, center's going to always be a thing where I think Matt Allen's played pretty well, but you know, that's something he's got to continue to work towards. We've got to figure out that position. But I think that what we found is that we've got depth at wide receiver. You know, I thought Cam Chambers, I think he had 5 catches maybe today. That was good to see. We've got 3 guys who can play that are coming back, so that's a positive. But I don't know. Those are tough questions when I don't know what you're asking. You know, just trying to respond.
I guess
good question.
for this spring, and you said 13 guys out, a little different than last spring, but how have you guys tried to manage it, especially the running back spot where you guys were already sitting there?
Yeah, you know, you don't want to get guys hurt, so you don't want to give them 30 carries and that type of thing. But so we just tried to manage the situation. We played Colin Lucas a little bit at tailback as well, and just tried to manage it. We practice it. We go live some, but not live all the time. And you know, we've gotten through the situation healthy with our 2 tailbacks. You know, our bona fide 2 tailbacks, and you know, we got 2 other guys coming that are highly recruited guys that will add immediate depth to that position. We'll have an opportunity to play. So we've just managed our situations and our problems just like any other football team would, and we do that by sharing reps and taking it easy a little bit.
It's kind of a follow with that, with the offensive line, Cole not playing. I mean, how much did you guys get to see the depth of who you've got in different positions?
Yeah, David Beadle didn't play, Cole Chewins didn't play, those two. So we've been able to work those other 5 guys in there that started the football game, and they're playing different positions. But Coach Dayton has a guy playing over here on the left side and on the right side, so they're becoming a little bit more versatile and broadening their scope of what they can do, which is a positive at the end of the deal.
Mark,
Yeah.
young group coming back, momentum from the bowl win and winter workout stuff. How much did you sense a difference with this group?
There's very good carryover from last season. There's a lot of confidence. We played a very tough league, Big Ten Conference in the East Division. There's no gimmies out there. Everybody prepares. We'll prepare for Utah State, #1, and then we'll sort of move it from there. But I think we have confidence as a group, and I think we have a good mindset and good chemistry, as I said earlier. So that's always fun to coach people like that. It's a fun team to coach, and you get around guys that it just makes it more fun, especially when you're winning.
Coach, right here. Last year at this time, you were talking about the program recentering itself. Do you feel like you've done that with this program to your liking at this point?
I don't know. We won 10 football games, but chemistry's right. I think we're doing things well in the classroom and off the field. But I think those are questions that's an ongoing process all the time. And I think what you have to figure out is that you can be up here and the ball can drop. You can drop very quickly. So we just got to continue to just push forward and make sure we're doing things right, best of our abilities. But I like our football team, and I like our young people.
And kind of a different follow-up. Xavier's a guy that stepped in for you, made some plays. That area of Central Ohio, you've got a couple guys from there. What is it about that area that those guys are ready to play, it seems like?
We recruit level 1 players. Guys, you look at our offensive and defensive lines, there's a lot of guys from Chicago that are playing very, very well. Mike Panasuk, I could go on, all those guys, but you got guys from Michigan, certainly, that are playing extremely well, our football team, and I can point to those guys, and then you've got guys from Ohio. So people from 3.5 hours away, I don't know, they come up here, they feel comfortable. There's good high school coaching in all 3 of those areas I just talked about, and guys get an opportunity to play, and they get pressure put on them, and they push through it. But Xavier Henderson's a guy that, Galen Gervin was out there as well, playing well. He's had a great spring, but X has been very, very good and put himself in position. Both those guys, I think, have put themselves in a position that they could play at this level in games next year.
Mark, can you kind of break down the quarterback play today with Ryan early, and then obviously Rocky and Theo late, and a couple late scoring drives there from Rocky?
Yeah, I thought the work was very spot on. I think really the only thing that happened to him were he had some drops. It's difficult situations out there, wind and things of that nature, but I thought he was crisp. Knew where to go with the ball, did the things he had to do. The other 2 guys had some great moments and had some other moments that were tough. It's the first time that Theo Day had an opportunity, and really Brian to have an opportunity to play in spring games, play in front of a crowd of people and on TV and things of that nature. So, they had some moments. I thought Rocky played pretty well as the game progressed on. I thought Theo came in the second half and threw some good balls. Just got to get the ball out a little quicker at times. It's not a pass scale type situation. It's just a higher level of football being played than it is in high school. Remember, he should probably be going to the prom about today. So, he's got progress too. He's making a lot of progress. So both those guys have the ability, and they have good arms, and they're major college quarterbacks, and you're going to see them continue to develop.
Mark, can you talk a little bit about the defense and the quick change situations you put them in, and what you saw out of that?
It's sort of tough. I'm sitting there talking to the crowd, listening to the coaches, and trying to put them in situations where it's hard the way that we had the scrimmage to go. If they drove the ball and then they punted the ball from the 40, then the same team had to come out and try to go 90 yards. And when you're playing an offense-defense type of situation, you got to flip the field on them sometimes. So that's what we did to try and equate that. I thought our defense played very well early in the game, and then a couple scores at the end of the game. But we were playing a lot of different people in there too, so that had something to do with it. But we've been good defensively all spring long, so I expect us to be good. Again, we held out some players. Really, our starting 3 linebackers weren't playing, and Byron was nicked up, so he was out after the first series as well. So he's had a great spring. So, you know, but I thought we played pretty effectively.
Mark, kind of piggybacking over to your left, kind of piggybacking on what Bill said earlier about recentering. A year ago, there was not much expectation, at least from the outside. That's back now. Does that change how you manage, how you talk to your guys with goals being a little bit?
No, we've always had the same goals. Our goals were always to win a championship here, and that's regardless of what the outcome of the season is. That's our goals when we go into the season. And the first thing we have to do is compete in the East Side and win that. We were able to do that. Legends are East, however you shake it out, 3 times in the last, what, 6, 7 years or something like that. That's the bar. The bar has been set around here. The standard has been set. This is what you have to do. We've won Big Ten championships. The bar is set. So that's where our focus is at all times. And whether we get there or not depends on a lot of different things and a lot of different people in this conference, and everybody competes. But at the same time, you know, there's a standard set, and we're going to try and hold to that standard. And I think we have players that understand that, and that's exciting. That's exciting for everybody, for Spartan Nation as well. Pretty good?
Well,
I'm just getting warmed up.
Speaking of the linebacker situation, that put a guy like Edward Warner in a position to get out there and play with some meaningful reps at a Mike linebacker, another guy that should be the prop. What about the progress he made and the things he did today?
A lot of progress from the beginning of spring to now. He's a quick learner. He understands the game. He's been around good football. His dad's a coach, obviously, so I think he progresses well. You know, Byron got nicked up, so he played even more. And you know, we'll have to see how he played in the game, but he's progressed. You know, he's still probably, you know, he's certainly behind Joe Bocci and Byron, but you know, we played Tyreek in there at Mike too, I think, today. But you know, for a guy who's just coming in off, you know, off of high school football, being thrown into this, you know, in a situation where he's got to come and lift and work out and then go through spring practice, and there's no ramp to get on. It's just, let's go. He's done a great job.
What about a defensive end? That's obviously the way that the rules and you guys want to protect as quarterbacks.
Right.
Makes it difficult to maybe gauge some of that. But what have you seen from them, or what do you think you saw today?
You know, Wilkes has played even better than he had last year. He's a step above that. Gotten bigger, more powerful. You know, the other defensive end, Justice Alexander, we've talked about, has played better this spring. See how he played today. Jacob Panasuk's a guy that's been nicked up, but he played today, so that was good. But you know, he's probably played half the spring practices. But he can be a force. You know, Dylan Alexander has reps, so you know, I think we're coming.
Mark, in terms of Mike Panashuk, he's always had the power, but he looked like now it seems more things are coming together for him. Can you just talk a little bit about what you saw in today? Because there were.
He's had a great spring. Mike's had a tremendous spring. He understands leverage better. He's always been a very powerful guy. I think he's in shape. He's leaner, and he should have a great future ahead of him. But he's played very, very well, as well as Raekwon's played much better. You know, as he's gotten older. These guys are playing young. 2016, he was a freshman, and Raekwon was a redshirt freshman. These guys are now getting ready to go into their 3rd year, and I think they understand things and play at a much higher level.
And that Brandon Randall, Tyreek Thompson competition there, probably healthy for both of them. Brandon's kind of in a new position. How's he coming along?
Yeah, Brandon is a guy that is very athletic, as everybody knows, and can make plays. And as I said, we moved Tyreek in there to Mike, and that's the first time he's ever taken a rep at Mike this spring, so we'll see how he did. But both those guys, I think, have had good, solid springs. They're competing on a daily basis, and you know, we'll see how it all shakes out. But good football players.
Did
Did you like the format last year to have that one extra, or one or two extra after this?
Yeah, I did, because, you know, in the past, we finished spring, you know, last year, I think we were all outside, and it was warm. And it was a week earlier. This year is just a little bit different, but I do think having practice afterwards doesn't, you know, spring practice doesn't conclude it for us. You know, we have a chance to evaluate the spring game. We make the spring game more of a scrimmage type situation, so there's more value, I think, there for our players. And then we get to clean it up, rather than just say, okay, spring ball's done and let's go on our way. So, you know, we'll continue here throughout this, you know, the next couple of days, and I think that's a positive for the learning environment of our players.
Anything else? You created a pressure situation late in the game, and then Rocky Lombardi learned some things as he went. And then what did you think about him in that last drive?
I thought he played better as the scrimmage went on. And, you know, made a couple nice throws to take him down there, and then, you know, I think he just winged it up there on the last one personally, but he made plays to get them down there. So that was a positive to see, and he was crisp.
Anything else?
That's good. Okay, thank you very much. Go Green.
Well, great player.